Hello, everyone. If you guys can hear us, okay, please post in a live stream. Okay, looks like the setup is okay. So we have Arihant Jain with us, who is a lead data scientist working for Zest Money right now, and his background is in actually mechanical engineering. So he did his BTech in mechanical engineering. So Um, I'm just scrolling through his profile, LinkedIn profile. And after doing his bachelor's in mechanical engineering from Jabalpur, he transitioned to data science field. He worked as a data scientist in Genpact, some of the big companies, Vodafone. He was a data scientist manager. And now he's a lead data scientist in Zest Money. So he also comes from a different background, mechanical engineer, and how he became data scientist. He has some interesting journey, interesting story to tell. But we will be telling that story by answering your questions. So I have Arihant. Arihant, thank you very much for spending time on Friday night, especially.
Thank you, Dhaval. I think it is going to be worth it, and thank you for inviting on the channel. Really glad to be here. Yeah,
Okay, so everyone, you can start posting questions here in the live chat, and I see some questions already. So there is a question by Ons Chadwa. You want to answer that, Arihant?
yeah, sure. I'm just looking into So it is the question from him. I see that hey, I am Ansh, currently in year third year IT engineering. I couldn't perform well my semester. I might get 8 CGPA. Okay, so what all extra things should I do to boost my chances in top colleges? I'm interested in MS in data science. Okay, so that's a great question. So a lot of people take this route, right, of completing their engineering in respective field. I also had some thought of going for an MS, at some point of time, or do MTech, let's say. So I guess CGPA is one part which definitely play a big role. I'm not going to say that it's not going to play a big role, but along with that, I suggest to think of all the options which is available. One of the option which is kind of not being thought about much is go in industry, test the waters, go and work into 2 years or 3 years in data science, and go back and then take do the master. So in that way, I think that is also one of the route which can be thought of here. Other than that, if you are really keen on getting into data science MS, then I think you should work on your other skills. I think developing, let's say, a Python skills, developing a statistics skills, because if you are planning for a master's, then it's very important that all this core concept should be very clear. See, a lot of people start and they think that, okay, hey, deep learning is the starting point for everything, but it's not like that. There are small concepts in each of the thing which you can focus in your semester. Right now you're in third year, you have 1 year with you. Spend a lot of time in learning basic things, implement basic projects, and kind of build your profile. See if you can kind of go in detail, understand mathematics behind this algos, try to find an avenues of publishing something if you can. And I'm pretty sure in this way, the profile you are going to build is definitely going to help you in getting into a master's. Yeah.
So I will answer the question from Siddharth Kumar Mohante. Meanwhile, you can pick up any other question,
So,
Arihant. So
so
Siddharth is asking if it is necessary to learn data structure and algorithm to get a data science job. My answer to that question is, if you are targeting a big company like Amazon, they might ask you some data structure algorithm questions, but tier 2, tier 3 companies will not focus on data structure and algorithms that much. So don't worry too much about it. Those things are needed if you're targeting software engineering career.
yeah, correct. Right. Yeah, exactly. And I see one more question here. Is masters necessary? I think, Dhaval, this is a great question. And I think a lot of audience who is watching this may have this question. Even I had this question when I'm like getting into the industry, and I keep on thinking about like, okay, hey, should I go for MBA in analytics? This was a time of 2014, 13, 14, right? And that was not so much hype about data science the way it is today, right? So I think this is very good question. I think this has been asked by Gaurav. Is masters necessary? So again, I think you have to understand about the different roles which is present in the industry. For that, I feel there are broadly, if I categorize as one type of a role where your applied ML skill is being tested. That okay, hey, you know the algorithm, you know how to implement it, you know how to do the projects end to end. If you wanted to get into this kind of a profile, there are tons of profile of this kind of which is available in India and outside India too, right? So if you wanted to get into this, I will say that don't think that you need a master. You can go ahead, jump in this kind of profile, get a good experience, right, and move forward. But let's say if you have a very specific focus that hey, I wanted to do research, I wanted to be in R&D, a part of a company, I wanted to design this algorithms from scratch, I wanted to find something new which can innovate the things completely different, then of course you should take the route of a master's. So again, the ratio of this kind, both kind of a jobs are available in the market, right? So it's a research related jobs which is available, as well as the first category of jobs is also available. Now, according to your destination which you wanted to get into, I will say that qualify this as a question then and say that, okay, hey, I wanted to take this path. Let me go ahead, do masters, maybe take a route of a PhD and then come back. If not, then I will say that getting into the industry and getting into the shoes of a data scientist is going to help you a lot. So I guess just to summarize, it's not one size fits all kind of a thing for masters in data science. It's just what destination you wanted to get into. Accordingly, you can decide whether you have to do masters or whether you have to you not have to do masters that way. Yeah.
Navin Dharwal is asking, how can you know about free resources to learn data science? I have a special video for that. I have posted a link of that video in the chat, so please check it out. Faiz Khan is asking, I'm a graduating technician, but my intention in technology and future technology. So how can I switch? So your question is kind of vague, but the I think if I understood correctly, he's a graduating technician, which means he's in a totally non-technical field, probably like non-computer science, non-data science field. So how can you transition to that? So Aryan, you want to answer that question based on your own transition journey?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I guess first thing I will start a little bit not of data science, but first thing you have to get this fear out of your mind. Okay, that you don't have. Let's say a lot of people come up with this thing that okay, hey, I'm mechanical engineer. How can I get into data science? So this is again a philosophical thought, but I feel that this applies to every part of our life. This applies very much here also. First of all, you have to think that yeah, it is possible, the people have done it, right? So you can also do it, right? This intent is something you need to have in mind. Second, there is a structured path, right? And you have to compare yourself from what you are doing yesterday versus today. Like for example, if I talk about me, so I have not done a good part of a coding in my college. I have like I remember a very little instances where I was involved in doing a coding, even taking help of my CS friends. So when I get into the industry, it doesn't happen suddenly that okay, hey, I become a Python coder on day one, right? It doesn't happen that way. There are people who is always good than you, right? So it's like, I've taken the structured path. Okay, hey, let me start learning the things one by one. I literally spend good amount of time on Python documents, basically going on the original document side of a Python, open a page, open a shell there. I don't use Jupyter Notebook at that time in 2013. That was not so famous, or maybe I was not aware about that in 2013 or 14. And I literally coded one thing on from the documentation and learn them. So I guess this is the way you can plan, step-by-step plan. Prepare a 6 months or let's say 12 months plan for you, a very step-by-step plan. Okay, hey, I need to complete, let's say, programming is very crucial, right, for data science. We cannot deny that. So take that as a part, take the statistics as a part. Don't jump the wagon and say that okay, hey, I wanted to learn everything in 3 months. No one can do that, and you should not do that. Go by a step-by-step plan, and that's what I have done. To be very honest, when I started, right, I started learning Python first of all. Python and R as a language. I focused on both the languages, start learning them one by one, start writing programs, spend some time after my office hours to write the programs, and then get into this slowly. And eventually, when I realized that, okay, hey, now I learned this is basic topic, let's start connecting them via projects. So I feel that this kind of a journey is something which everyone need to think of and plan it very structurally, in a structured way if you are coming from a non-CS background as such. That's what I feel, Dhaval.
So Arihant, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So you did your bachelor's in mechanical engineering. So during those 4 years, whatever subjects you went through, or did you find that the things you learned there useful in your data science career? For example, as a mechanical engineer, you have learned a lot of engineering mathematics, maybe statistics. So do you
Correct.
think the part of that kind of helps you as a data scientist?
Definitely, definitely. It do help. I will say it. The way you mentioned about engineering mathematics, right? So if you see at the end of the day, right, when we talk about neural networks or let's say back propagation, there is a heavy maths involved over there, right? So when I was seeing that math, I was not like very surprised because I have seen dead, deadlier maths than what I'm seeing in back propagation. So that gives me a confidence. Okay, this is doable. Okay, so definitely I can relate that experience in the machine learning part. And I also feel that though it's a mechanical engineering, but there are subjects where you are trying to understand the conceptual understanding, how the mathematics is playing a big role. And that all learning is something which, when I'm learning this algorithm, I have that structured mindset in the mind. Okay, hey, this is how things work in a structured way. And that's how this algorithms also work in step number one, step number two, and all. I definitely think that these two skills, structured approach of understanding concepts while I am doing my mechanical engineering. And the second thing is mathematics. This definitely gives me a lot of boost in my data science career.
Because many times people argue that, oh, I studied mechanical engineering, there are no jobs. Now I want to move to data science. Oh, I wasted my 4 years. And I'm like, no, dude, you did not waste your 4 years. You learned some very important skills. I
Correct.
interviewed one petroleum engineer
Hmm.
who became a data scientist in Halliburton. That's like a big petroleum company. So
Okay.
when that company was hiring, they preferred petroleum engineer as opposed to computer science guy
Correct.
because they were looking for domain knowledge. So domain knowledge that you're acquiring in your branch is crucial as well. Let's say you are a bachelor of commerce, right? BCom graduate. Don't get disheartened because you have knowledge on economics, finances, and some companies are looking for, they give more weightage to your domain knowledge than your technical skills. See, if you are
Correct.
a smart person, learning technical skills is not hard. You can always learn it. But if you build that domain knowledge, it's gonna be super useful. So now
Definitely. Definitely.
we can take any other question. Arihan, you want to pick the next
Yeah.
question?
Sure, sure. I will just see. Uh, Someone is asking about the hiring as such. Will the company hire me even if I am from non-technical? This is from Shubham Das, and he has done a master in physics. So, Dhaval, I try to connect the point which you just mentioned. You rightly mentioned that if even if you are coming from, let's say, finance background, or you have done a, let's say, BCom or any other courses, in every courses you have learned a domain knowledge. You learned about economics, you learned about finance, let's say, or you are coming from mechanical. The way I explained that, I have learned a couple of things. Even the person, he's saying that he's from physics, he has done a master in physics. Now physics is a very tough subject, right? At least for me, right? So definitely the type of algorithms, the type of concepts which has been learned in physics environment, just think about the semiconductor industry or any other industrial industry where they need a data scientist. The people who have
Hmm.
done a core masters in physics, why company don't wanted to hire them, right? Because
Hmm.
as we know, right, that data science is not purely technical. It's has to be a mixture of business domain plus your technical skills, right? So
Hmm.
as Shubham is saying that he's coming from a non-technical background and his background is masters in physics, will company will hire him? Definitely there are a lot of companies who are doing a physics related thing. Now he has an age over there, he understand
Hmm.
the physics around the different materials. Let's say if we talk about the different metals, different semiconductor units, and xyz things, right? So he has a conceptual understanding of this. But when he layer a technical skills, he can always go to that industry and say that I have done master in physics, I understand the conceptual thing, and now I know the technical things also. Can I become a domain expert plus data scientist on the top of it and try to solve the use cases over there? So definitely there is a scope, and people have done that in past. Yeah.
I interviewed Python Council member a few weeks back. He has a PhD in physics. He did his PhD in physics
Right.
in black holes research. Then he developed interest in Python coding. Right now he's young actually. He's younger than me. He's one of the Python Council member. Python Council member is basically Python Council is like 5 people who decides the future version of Python. So this guy is going to release the next version of Python. So if physics PhD person can go at the top. It's like a topmost position in Python coding, right?
Yes.
Shubham, you can do it. And I'm not trying to motivate you in vain, but I have seen, I know many people with physics background. I don't know, there is some logic, but if people have physics background, they generally excel really well in coding. I've seen that in data science. They become very, very successful. So Subham, my guess is you will probably become more successful than usual computer science guy. Just leave all your self-doubt aside. Start working on your dream from today itself.
Exactly,
Okay,
exactly. Correct,
we
correct.
take next question.
Yeah, sure. Let's take it. I guess two questions I'm seeing, which is kind of pointing to the same thing. That again, a typical question is the maths important, okay? And how much maths we should be learning, even if we are coming from a non-core background. Specifically, this for the people uh, who choose commerce, right? And I won't say that all the people choose commerce because they don't like maths, but there is a somewhere fear is there that, okay, hey, maths, physics, chemistry, I don't want it to do. That's why I want to choose commerce. So specifically for all those folks, see, mathematics is important. I won't say that it's not important in data science. It is definitely important. But again, as I say that, you don't have to be PhD in maths to become a data scientist. You don't have to. So again, you have to take it as a simple way that whatsoever is required in terms of, let's say, linear algebra, calculus, a bit of a calculus, you can always go ahead, learn them, basic things, and you can move forward in the field. Now, this field becomes so varied in nature that it's not that only the PhD people in maths will become a data scientist. There are other skills you need to focus upon. So, like, for example, if I would be in your position, let's say, if I'm not very good in maths, for example, then what I
Hmm.
will do is I will focus on my programming skills. I will become a programming champ and say that, hey,
Hmm.
you give me anything, I will make this happen. But on mathematics, I know the basics. I can
Hmm.
understand them and I can do the things, right? So you have to just understand what is very important and get into it. But yeah, maths is definitely important, I will say. And again, you can take in help of a videos which is available on the platform, and there are so many good communities over there which teach the maths in a very easy way, right, Dhaval? Correct, there are so many things which is available.
Math, I can tell you two resources. Mathisfun.com. That website is great. They
Correct.
explain you math. For example, they want to explain vector. So they will explain you vector, like how do you add two vectors? So if you're doing typical math class, they just start talking about vectors. But this website will say, okay, the plane is flying, let's say in this direction. So when the plane is flying, it has a direction and magnitude. And let's say wind is blowing from this side. So wind also has a direction and magnitude. And the resultant plane direction and magnitude is basically addition of these two vectors. So now
Right.
when you give this real life example, math becomes like a breeze, like super cool. It just flows into your brain. 3B 1B is another excellent channel. So if you watch calculus videos of 3B 1B, all your inferiority complex will go away.
Exactly. Correct.
Because many times people think they're not good in math, but the problem is they were not taught math in a proper way. I'm an average math student, but now when I'm watching 3B 1B calculus video, I feel like I'm a pro in math. So the problem is people have this bias. Leave that bias. Start fresh from today. And I'm pretty sure math is not a rocket science. It's something that you can learn easily. And as you said, you don't have to be PhD.
Right.
Nowadays you get all these APIs, TensorFlow, like many times you are just using ready-made tools. You're not writing like gradient descent on your own, in plain Python.
Exactly. Correct.
You are calling some sklearn API, which underneath runs. So why worry then?
Yeah.
Okay, Mohit Gaur has a question, which is he did his mechanical engineering in 2018.
Okay.
After that, so 2018 to right now, 3 years, he did some freelancing and projects. He want to do a transition towards data science and want a job. So what advice would you give Arihant?
Yeah, so I think one thing which is missing, I think, in the question is that what kind of freelancing work he has done. So let me assume that it's a non-data science for a moment. That's why this question is coming up. So yeah, again, I will give the same advice. Like you graduated in mechanical, you choose some freelance work. You did it. Maybe it's in IT or maybe it's in non-IT. You try to first figure out like what you have gained from a domain perspective in that, right? So whenever you work for, let's say, you are even designing a website for a bank, right? You learn a lot of features about the bank, right? That, okay, how the product proposition is and other stuffs, right? So whatsoever domain experience you have gained while working that, recollect that. Start, working in a very structured way. Again, learning Python, learning statistics, and learning basic things. And then try for internship when you are in this kind of a positions, right? Where you have a 3 years of experience, which is non-data science, right? And you learn the things by yourself. Let's say by spending 6 months, by watching videos, by reading content on blogs. Now try to search for an internship. Show some projects on your resume, like participate in hackathons, participate in Kaggle, and show some of the projects. Try to see if you can get into an internship with a basic stipend also. That is fine, because you're starting your career, right? So you can go ahead and take that hit. Join internship in any company. Spend some time, 6 months of time, 3 to 6 months of the time. Learn the things, learn the art of how data science happen in real life, and then start searching for a jobs. Because a lot of time I see the will. Yeah, you want to say something?
Yeah, the question I want to ask is, see, you are a senior data scientist, and you are also interviewing people. So if you get a resume from a person like Mohit, and in his resume, okay, there is a bachelor in mechanical engineering, 3-year
Correct.
freelancing project are also not in data science. Let's say, I think that kind of resume will not get an interview call, correct?
No. Yeah, correct.
So you need to have some data science projects. So you do some self-learning, do projects on your own, and put those projects, and don't highlight. If you're done mechanical engineering, like, don't write like a big paragraph on your boiler project, right? Like, you should just
Correct.
briefly mention your mechanical engineering background. Put more focus on data science projects, whatever Python coding you learned on side. Highlight those keywords at the top in a skill section. And if you get that kind of resume, will you invite that person for an interview call, Arihant?
Definitely, I guess, yeah, because that's what anyone wanted to look at while searching for people and interns, right? Because if you, as you rightly said, right, if I open a resume and if I see 3 or 4 projects, which is defining what kind of work person has done, let's say one classification model, one object detection model, and he has also linked his GitHub, I will immediately go to that GitHub link and will be very curious to know what exactly this person has done. Okay, let's say someone had developed a mass detection model, right, which is the need of the hours couple of months back and still today, right? A lot of companies are trying to get into that. So if someone kind of done that kind of projects, this will really generate a lot of curiosity in me. I will definitely go see his or her GitHub and really feel that, okay, hey, I wanted to definitely talk to this guy. This guy is excellent, right? So again, just summarizing, as Dhaval has rightly mentioned, you have to be very structured in mentioning the things on your resume also. If you have done a 3 years of freelancing work, you should mention that. You should not hide, definitely, for sure. But the way you wanted to put in your resume, the way you have to structure the relevant thing, because no one spend a lot of time on resumes, right? It's not 1 hour of job when people will, oh, wow, I got a resume. Now I have to spend 1 hour on this. No, it doesn't happen
Yeah.
like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I agree, completely agree with you on that. Yeah.
Muhammad Abrar is asking a question specifically to you, that why did you choose to transition from mechanical engineering to data science?
Okay,
So,
the honest answer is, I know that I'm not a good mechanical engineer. Okay, that's the honest answer. I knew that in 2013 that I am not a good mechanical engineer, and I know for sure that I may not be able to do a lot of things over there. But on a serious note, okay, so one thing which kind of drives me, see, to be honest, I will be bluntly honest. Data science, machine learning, AI, I didn't hear this in my college. You guys are very, very much advanced than me. I will tell this honestly, where you guys are in third year and start thinking of machine learning. I have never heard about the word like machine learning. I'm talking about 2013 as such.
hmm,
But
hmm.
what I was very curious that time, which forces me to get into this, is I love solving analytical puzzles. I love solving case studies. I used to go on different websites of a companies and try to read their white papers, their case studies. This is what I love to do in my college days. Okay. And that's what I thought, like the type of company I wanted to get into is where they give me a problem statement and I will solve this. Now, I don't know that, okay, I need to learn Python to solve it, but I know that, okay, give me one problem, and the problem can be very basic. The problem can be very basic, like, okay, hey, how we will solve a simple problem of, let's say, anything, right? It can be very, very simple problem also. I don't mind doing this. But the thing is, I love problem solving from my college days. Okay, I used to think of, I remember this very, honestly, whenever I go to any restaurant, I started counting in my mind that how much money this restaurant is going to make, is kind of making it. I used to think in my mind, okay, hey, I was here for 1 hour. How many customers have
you
come
will
in?
you will start counting tables. Okay, one table,
Correct,
five
correct.
people. Everyone is let's say ordering 200 rupees. Oh my god.
Exactly, exactly. So that skill I was have there. So okay, and that's where when I joined in, I was only have a thought. Okay, hey, give me some analytics job. I will do it. And then I eventually know that what I was thinking is a very small part. There is so much things to learn, and that's how I kind of get into data science. So I won't say I wanted to get into data science. Somehow I wanted to get into some analytics job, and that's how the data science journey started. Right?
Got it. You want to pick up next question now?
Yeah, sure. Let me see.
So
Um,
while you pick up the question, I will answer one of the question which
sure.
Manoj Kumar asked, which is he's an SAP BW consultant. He's doing data warehousing and mining. Should I go for AWS cloud or data science? See, AWS cloud and data science both have good opportunities. If you want to be cloud expert, go into like DevOps type of role, it definitely has a lot of opportunities. And data science also has a lot of opportunities. So it's on your personal preference, I would say. If you like to do kind of like infrastructure type of work, go for AWS cloud. If you want to do problem solving, as Arihant mentioned, using mathematics, statistics, like then go for data science. So it depends on your personality, really.
Yeah, correct. Okay, so one of the question which I see from Akshay Jain, he is trying to ask, how should mechanical fresher who has done some courses in data science apply for data science job in India, as most of the company need an experienced folk? Okay, great question, I guess, right? So again, I guess here you need to learn the art of selling yourself, right? So you need to, though you are from mechanical, you have done engineering in mechanical, you have spent a lot of time in learning about automobiles and XYZ, but the thing which is going to matter is how many projects you have actually solved in. And actually, to be honest, right, I think this is the time where there is a lot of hackathons happening. If you see around, there is a lot of hiring hackathon is happening where no one is saying that, okay, hey, you are from mechanical, you cannot participate in this hiring hackathon. So I'm saying the way you have to think about this, though you have done it something in mechanical, which is, let's say, is not very relevant. The thing is, you can grow yourself by learning all this thing. Start with a small projects, I will say. You can start with a small projects and then grow yourself. And how to apply for a jobs then as a mechanical engineer. So two-step things. One is whatsoever projects you have done on, let's say, Kaggle platform or any other platform, highlight that. If you got a good rank, do highlight that. So let's say if you are a top 50 out of the couple of bunch of people, say that you are in top 10% or top 5% or whatsoever it is, and what you have done, write that. Don't just write that, okay, hey, I was in top 5%. Write that, okay, hey, this is what my learning is. Write a Medium article or any other article over there, right? Explain the process. This all things when you do, and then kind of start applying for a jobs, even on the platforms, which is a traditional job platform. Other than that, focus on the hiring hackathons as such, which happens because there your probability of selecting is more compared to the platform where a lot of experienced folk is already crowded. If you talk about any typical job platform, you will see that a lot of experienced folks are already there. But when you come to the hiring hackathons, which happens, keep on happening, you have all the power of coming into the top 50, right? So if you come in, you will make a mark. Companies will start calling you, and that's make your life much more easier over there. So that's what I just kind of wanted to give an answer to.
And
Yeah,
and I will add something.
sure.
Sometimes people cannot do project alone. They kind of don't feel confidence or they don't have direction. For those people, I have a Discord server. So the link of Discord server is in the video description. If you join that, it's all free. Okay, no money charge. There is a channel called Group Up Finder, like the Partner Finder. So if you want to do project with some partners, post in that channel. There are a lot of people like you, Akshay, who wants to do, let's say, data science project. You guys do projects together, or you compete in Kaggle competition together. That
Correct.
way, there is accountability, and there are a lot of benefits. See, the ultimately the thing is you need to act, right? I read this somewhere that the art of getting things done is to act. You have to act today. Act, do something. Like, don't just sit, watch videos, and just don't, taking action is very important.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct. I
I'll take
see
the
one
next.
question. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I see one good question from Rohan. Does digital marketing helpful in data science? Do you want to start answering this, or you want
No,
me
you
to?
can go ahead.
Okay. So interesting, I guess, digital marketing, right? So I think digital is a key word, right? Everyone is talking about this nowadays, right? Right. So digital marketing do play a role in data science. Why? And again, if you learn the fundamental of digital marketing, just think about all the models, all the machine learning models, which is being developed. Ultimately, they need to be used for some marketing campaigns or, for some purposes in that way, right? So definitely, if you know digital marketing, if you learn the fundamental of, let's say, A/B testing, right, design of experiments, how you design the experiments, right, all these are very important thing, though it is not being called out as a very hot skills sometimes,
Mhm.
specifically in data science world, because people love to talk about CNNs, NNs, because they are looking complex, right? And sometimes we say that complex is something which is
Mhm.
sexier, right? That kind of thing,
Mhm.
right? So in a way, I will say that digital marketing definitely plays a big role. So if you know the fundamental of digital marketing, there are a lot of things you can do it from the data science perspective, even from the analysis perspective. If you see, right, in digital marketing, you generate tons of data, right,
Mhm.
which can be used to analyze and kind of answer or find the insights from the data. So definitely, I see that though this is not a direct related field, but have a good scope as far as data science jobs are concerned.
And Kirtan Chigurupati is asking, he is an ECE student, and before moving into data science master, can we move into MIS, Management Information System, and what are the requirements for MIS?
Okay, so I guess the question is more like, okay, hey, he is from non-tech, let's say, in a way, like not a core data science background, and he wanted to get into a dashboarding kind of a role. Now, dashboarding seems to be, let's say, MIS as put in the question. I will say that data dashboarding or presenting an insight is very, very important skill as we speak today, right? So a lot of people is needed in the industry who can tell a better stories, right? So when you present a dashboard, right, you are just not presenting a static dashboard. You are presenting a lot of information in that, right? So definitely, the people who is interested in, getting in this kind of a role, generally this kind of a role is being called as a data storyteller or data visualization expert, or let's say a dashboard, kind of a BI, or let's say MIS kind of a role. You should focus on, let's say, developing Python skill, learn Tableau or quickly view kind of a tools, and definitely showcase your skill. And this is a type of a job which I think even the small startups need, right? Because even a company of 50 odd people, they also need to know what's happening in their company. Let's say it's a small delivery company, right, who deliver products. They wanted to know that, okay, how many orders successfully delivered, what is the tat of the delivery. So there's a simple insights you can kind of plot in. So the scope of this particular job, which we are having a question right now, is huge. It's available in every company, from a smaller companies to a larger MNCs. So definitely, I will say focus on the skills, and you will have a good chance in getting into these jobs.
And Rakesh Kumar had a similar question. He had 7+ years of experience in MIS with MBA. So can he go into data science job with good package? I think the same answer applies to his question as well.
Correct, correct, correct.
Okay,
Yes.
we can pick up the
Let's
next question.
yeah. Let's see. Okay, so I see one more question which recently popped up by Nitin Pandya, which I'm saying how to make sure that we have a future secured by focusing in which technology to learn. Will I be able to not worry for next 10 years? Very interesting question. So
Very good question.
very good question, right? So if I know the answer of it, if I know the answer of this question, I may not be sitting here and talking about it, right? Because I don't know what is going to be stay after 10 years. Dhaval, do you know what is going to stay after 10 years?
Yes, I know the answer very well. And the
Okay,
answer is the only thing that will stay is learning spirit.
correct,
Technologies will keep on changing, but if you have a learning spirit, that's the kind of skill you need to have. You become a lifelong student, basically, period. You keep
definitely.
on learning. Once you stop learning, done. You're dead in your career. I have been working in industry for 17 years. Every single day, I'm telling you, I'm not exaggerating. Every single day,
Correct.
I spend at least 1 hour in learning something new. So what will stay is the learning spirit. Everything else will get obsolete.
Correct, correct, definitely, and I think that's what has happened, right? So if I compare from 2010 to 2021, you see a lot of things have changed like drastically, right? So if you talk about NLP in 2013 and 14, natural language processing, and if you see the scope of NLP today, I feel like wow, what's happened? The things has changed
Mm.
like anything in last 7 8 years. So I think who asked this, Nitin? I think as Dhaval mentioned, I also have the same opinion. Have this learning aptitude kind of a thing in your mind and keep on learning new things. That is what is going to stay with you, not 10 years, but I will say after 50 years also. If you have this, then you will sell through any of this storm which will come to you. Definitely.
And this is what Bill Gates and Warren Buffett has been telling since years, right? Like Bill Gates read one book every week. Now Bill Gates is a
Correct.
kind of person he should be writing the book. Like why does he
Correct.
need? He became richest man. He's 70-year old. Why does he need to learn? But his thinking philosophy is, I want to be a lifelong student. I want to keep on learning. If you look at any big entrepreneurs, Elon Musk, anyone, they spend minimum 2 to 3 hours in learning something new every day. Okay, although they are
Correct.
so successful billionaire. So that is the most important thing. Yeah, we can take the next
Correct.
question.
Correct. I see one more good question from Avinash. Can I be both Angular developer as well as a Power BI and Power Apps developer? I'm having a 1 year of experience in the startup. So I wanted to answer this. Good question. I like the question. So the good thing about you as such, you are saying that you know Angular, which means you have a good knowledge about the UI as such, right? UI aspect of the thing.
Mm.
And UI UX is something which is going to drive the world, and it is driving the world crazy, right? People want an app which is smooth. Dark theme is something which is like people are crazy about, right? So definitely, if you learn Power BI along with Angular, or even I will say D3.js kind of things, this is again a well-known data visualization tools in a data science industry. People need to build a dynamic visualization using, let's say, D3.js and Angular as a skill. So definitely, I think you have got both the aspects, a tool aspect of Power BI, programming language. Try to club them together and start running towards a data visualization expert kind of a roles. I am pretty sure you will have a good chances over there. Yeah,
Ankit Sarkar has a question. I am from sales. I am not able to transition my career into data science. Please help. So I will answer this.
sure.
You are in sales, so it's an interesting situation. But the first step you can take is whatever sales data you're getting, right? If you're a salesman in a company, you must be getting data through some software, Excel file, whatever. Try to do analysis of that data in Power BI, let's say, or write a simple Python script. Try to analyze your sales trend, where sales are declining, increasing, profit, loss analysis, and things like that. On my YouTube channel, I have done a sales insight project, the whole series in Power BI. Super easy to learn. You can learn it very easily. And your 10th grade student can also learn it easily. So first step is start applying data science in your own domain. Data science is not a separate branch. Data science is a discipline which you can use in any domain, sales, mechanical engineering, any domain. Data science is like a subdomain within all the domains. So start applying those Python skills. Learning Python is super easy. Even a high school student can learn it. So start doing that and then start putting your projects into your resume and then start applying. Then you will get probably an interview call. Directly, if you just do some course from some e-learning website and if you say, okay, I have this certificate, that might not help much. So start applying data science. If anyone says that they cannot apply data science in their own field, then that person is either very pessimist or the person is not being creative enough. Data science is applicable in all the fields.
Definitely, I guess. Yep, yep. Um, I see a couple of more question. Uh, One question, which is again a very generic one, but I see most of the time it is being asked: what is the most important skill to become a data analyst? Is it a coding, knowledge of statistics, or any other thing? I will say the answer to it, it's not binary, right? It's a multi tick answer, right? So you cannot say that. So it's like, if you have to drive a car, you need four wheels, right? You won't say that, okay, I am okay with two wheels in the front. If two wheels are not there, I will still run the car, right? So you have to think of, right, that way, that it's not that I will say that Python is the only skill which make you a data science. But I will see that don't discomfort yourself. That again, I keep on repeating this point again and again, that you don't have to PhD in all the subjects, right? You need to know what you wanted to know to do the projects, right? And start getting a Python skills, statistics, and all the skills, a basic skills. See, basic will remain stay, right? Whether it's a CNN today, whether it's an RNNs, or whether it's any NN in the world which will come later, right? Your basic skills, basic understanding of the stuff is very important, and focus on that. Don't think in a binary way. Spend time on all these skills, which will make you a good data scientist. Spend enough time on learning programming, learning statistics, learning maths. Dhaval have mentioned some of the things in the earlier conversation about some of the sites to learn these things, and you can definitely have a higher chances of excel in this particular field. So yeah.
Steffi Thea is a tester with 5+ experience and want to switch to data science, and all company needs experience. How do you handle that? Good question. Yeah, of course. If I have a company, I'm looking for experienced person, definitely, right?
Correct.
Because I'm into business, I'm into money making business. Why would I hire someone who doesn't have interest? Steffi, when you're doing your testing job, can you try to first automate it using Python? You can write automation script. You can automate a lot of things you are doing in day-to-day life with Python. So Python is a great language. Start building your Python skills first, and then start building your data analytics skills using, let's say, if we are talking about BI tool like Power BI, there are a lot of things. You can start learning mathematics and statistics on side, and then start doing projects. So the first advice is always start doing data science type of small task or projects in your own domain, and then start doing hobby projects on weekends. You can maybe build an image classifier. I have this project called sports personality image classifier, where I explain the whole data science pipeline, right from data collection to predictions, everything. You take that project and maybe you customize it for, let's say, movie star image classification project, or let's say political figures image classification. So still the problem statement is same, but kind of you're giving your own flavor. And then if you mention that in your resume, it's going to make a big impact. If you say I have done iris flower data set classification, your resume will be rejected for sure. So you don't mention that, okay, in your resume. uh, so yeah, start learning. Projects are very important, and then you have to be patient as well. You will say, okay, I have mentioned my 5 projects I applied in this 10 companies, I'm not getting call. Well, there is a big competition. Just have patience.
Correct. And just wanted to add one thing on the top of it. Try to create your social profile. And when I say social profile, I'm not saying to go on Instagram live every day and night. Okay. I meant create, like, write blogs, write about the things you are doing. Like, for example, as mentioned, if you have done an image classifier, share your work, write that, okay, hey, what is the challenges you have faced in? A lot of people who, try to understand your work, try to understand the challenges. And if you say that there is no challenge, which means that you have not done a great work over there, right? Because and in that way, I will say write up articles, post it, get it reviewed through different people if you have, and kind of post everything on GitHub. Whenever you are creating a project, write a README files, explain what you have done, what approach you have taken. Just think of selling yourself, right? So it's your bio data in a way, which you have to prepare and showcase. When anyone opens it, they should be say, oh, wow, this guy have done something. Let me call him for an interview. Okay. So that's how you have to think of. Yeah. Makes sense, right?
And yep, that's a useful advice. And I run a kind of like a hackathon competition on my YouTube channel. So what I did is I did this Power BI project for personal finance management. People are looking for, okay, what should be my first data science project? And I'm like,
Correct.
start managing your own expenses, right? Your car bill, your rent, your groceries. Start putting those data in your Excel file. Then you have income, and start doing dashboard in Power BI. So I did a complete project on my YouTube, and then I ran a challenge. Say, okay, you want to customize this project. I gave them some assignment, and only 10 people worked on that assignment, because the issue is, a lot of people want to build an awesome career, but that action is missing.
Yeah.
And i I spend money out of my pocket. My youtube channel right now doesn't even play ads. I'm not earning literally zero money from YouTube, no advertisement, right? And I spend my own money to pick the first three winners. I gave them some Amazon gift voucher, but only 10 people participate. So that's a sad reality. Everyone want to build huge career and want to become data scientists and get a good package, but the action is missing. So if you're subscribed to my channel or my LinkedIn, I'm kind of running these activities. So try to, participate in those.
Definitely. Yeah. Let's take a couple of more questions, right? Uh, like I see one question from Pranav. I am a software engineer and wanted to move to AI ML / data scientist role. Is it
Hmm.
okay to start as data analyst and then move to data scientist? Great question, I will say. A lot of people have this kind of a question, right? That, okay, hey, I am a software engineer right now, and I'm assuming, let's say you're working in a software development. So you have a good, let's say, programming skills of back end or front end, or maybe a SQL developer, or maybe something like that. See, again, there is no challenge in moving as a data analyst. Trust me on that. The reason is, this is not going to be your permanent state, right? This is going to be a temporary state. You go there, you learn, because trust me, data analyst learns a lot of domain knowledge. Why? Because they keep on churning the data from the databases, right? And try to generate an insights, right? Like, for example, if I give, let's say, you my portfolio of mutual funds, right? Just for example, and tell you that, can you analyze the last 10 years of portfolio and tell me what mistakes I have made? Definitely, I must have made some mistakes. Now, this is a simple task, right? Where you can pull the data, you can see when I have invested in this shares or in this mutual funds, what I should be doing in a right way, or what the mistakes I have made. So you will gain a lot of domain knowledge. So I will say, there is no harm in getting into a data analyst job. Keep on working, keep on enhancing your knowledge. That should not stop, right? And then keep on trying in the same company itself. So let's say if you're going in an e-commerce company and you're looking for a data analyst, definitely have an ML engineers. You try to aspire, learn from them, ask for a help, kind of build your portfolio, keep on building it, and show the incremental value you'll bring in. For example, if you are working as a data analyst for an e-commerce company, for, let's say, for a particular domain, now you know that domain knowledge. Now, if you overlay with your machine learning skills, you can say with proud that, hey, I know domain knowledge. Now I can bring a data science also. Give them a chance. Be patient. These things take some time, or you can try outside also. So in that way, I don't see it as a harm of moving from software engineer to data analyst and then moving to data scientist. It's not going to be a permanent fix at all. It's all your willingness from move from one role to another role. I have switched multiple roles, so I know that it is all possible. You can do it, and that's what my advice to you is. Yeah.
Hitesh R is asking, I had done BBA, marketing, and MBA. I'm not aware about Python or math or statistics. Should I consider entering data science? Because there is a lot of competition with those who have actual degrees. So actual degrees, in my honest opinion, are useless. They are just a piece of paper. I read an article recently on LinkedIn where a security guard, okay, a security guard in Zoho is a big company in India. Security guard in Zoho became a software engineer. Zoho hired that person because while he was a security guard, he learned HTML. This guy is only 10th pass. He was, and I'm going to interview him on my channel, by the way. Okay. So watch out for that session. 10th pass person, security guard, become software engineer. He completed 8 years in Zoho, very successful software engineer. What matters is not your degree, is your passion. I know and sorry for strong words, bunch of losers, okay, bunch of losers who did computer science just because their parent asked them to do that. They have no interest in coding, they have no motivation. So don't think you're competing against those 10,000 software engineers who just graduated from my state. It's not like that. You have a unique advantage where you want to do something out of your genuine interest. So it doesn't matter if you're doing BBA, marketing, MBA, coding is easy to learn. You have to, sincerity matters the most. Sincerity, constant hard work. As long as you have that, you can beat even an IITian. Okay. And this is not an overstatement. You can do it. It's possible. This was not possible 5 years ago. Nowadays, because of easy access of internet, you can connect with anyone on LinkedIn. You can access so many free resources for free internet, right? All it requires is a passion and sincerity. So Hitesh, definitely go ahead. Do not worry about competition from so-called actual degrees. Actual degrees will stop mattering. Google announced they don't need degree now to hire people. Google officially announced they don't care about degree. So please leave that fear of degree from your mind and just start working on it today.
Yeah, correct. I see one more good question coming from Sidhu. Is DL, deep learning, mandatory to start searching job on data science just by knowing ML algorithms for a 2 years experience in a mechanical guy? Good question, right? So again, it's a job universe, right? Where there are a lot of jobs which is getting produced, right? And at the other side, the people like us, right, who are searching for a job, who are learning skills and trying to get into a job, right? Now, if that particular job requires a deep learning skills, then definitely, let's say if you are joining a company where you have to work on object detection, then definitely you need to learn deep learning. Deep learning is mandatory. But let's say at this particular stage, if you know a bunch of ML algos with good statistics and Python, and you have churned out 2, 3 good projects, I will say search for an ML job right now. Get into it, right? And learn the deep learning on the way and migrate yourself over there. So it's not that DL is without deep learning, you are not going to get a job. I have seen multiple people who are getting a job without doing deep learning. Even they may not know a lot about DL. It's all about, right? Because now if you say DL, there is a one more section of reinforcement learning. Then there are 10 other sections which is over there, right? So this is a lifetime learning which you have to do, but you don't have to block yourself. See, one advice I just wanted to kind of give it, whatsoever your state right now, whatsoever projects you can do right now, let's do it right now. Let's not park them for future. That, okay, hey, after 3 months, I will be more prepared. Trust me, more prepared is nothing. This even doesn't work for me also. If I say that, okay, I will be more prepared after 3 months for this particular job, trust me, after 3 months, I will again say that I need 3 more months, right? So start small, start right now, collect what's the skill you have, start working on the. So I'm not saying don't make goals, definitely make goals. You wanted to become a deep learning engineer, aspire to become a deep learning engineer. But why to lose on an ML engineer right now, which will give you a lot of skills, which will give you a bunch of motivated folks on the job, with whom you can participate on weekend and crack different deep learning competition, right? So that's where I think try to design your path. Don't delay things. Whatsoever you know, get into that and plan for your goals then. Yeah.
And the reality is that many data scientists, many data scientists don't use ML or DL at all. This is the reality.
Correct.
Many times, I'm telling you, data scientists will be scrapping like different databases in the organization. You have one SAP system, SQL database, Mongo database. You're just trying to pull data from all the places, doing bunch of data transformation, data cleaning, and then, applying simple heuristics. So forget DL. Many data scientists, many of them, majority, I would say, they are not even doing ML or DL. So as Arihant rightly mentioned, you should be interested in solving a problem. Like this is the problem that has been offered to me as a data scientist. Your goal is to draw insights. So if you can draw insights but by running simple logic, simple heuristic, so be it. In the end, solving problem matters more than applying DL for a given problem. Saurabh
Exactly.
Banerjee has a quick question, which is, can we count internship experience as a work experience when applying for machine learning or data science position? Answer is yes. Okay, we can move to the next question.
Yep.
Army Patel, every other job application title as data business analyst or data science engineer prefer candidates with master's PhD in relevant field. I'm not sure if all jobs prefer masters or PhD. As I said, like some progressive companies like Google, they don't even require you to have a degree. Many companies are, the trend is changing. I know there are some traditional companies, but I think master and PhD is required when they are looking for a very niche skills, they are looking for a niche skills in NLP where they only want to hire PhD in NLP. Then, but majority of the skills, majority of the jobs, I don't think they look for master or PhD. So Army Patel, you need to probably do some job search properly. And I don't quite think this is the reality, right? Arihant, do you agree?
Yeah, I agree, completely agree. And I see one more question, good question actually from Utkarsh. I am working as a tester, do have a knowledge about Python and has developed some of the decent project. How can I move to Python development jobs? Any tips for resume? So interesting question, right? So I think if you are in a testing, the world has moved forward, right? Now people are writing Selenium programs. People are writing Python codes to automate the whole testing stuff, right? I've seen multiple people have done it. They were a traditional tester, like a traditional way the testing is used to happen, but now the world has changed, right? So you can definitely showcase that program. And again, what projects will get you into Python development or data science part of the thing? Simple thing is develop your own projects, right? Develop. So if you don't have, like for example, I will give a simple example. You wanted to parse the emails, or you wanted to know that, okay, hey, I wanted to kind of understand the entities in the text data. You have a Gmail box, right? We have so many spam mails. We have a non-spam mails. We have an updates mails. Collect from 10 friends. Say them, please give us your data, which is not sensitive, and learn from it, right? So I'm saying there is no dearth of the projects. If you go on web, there are a lot of projects which is there. Do projects and don't copy paste. Okay, copy pasting is the easiest thing to do. You can do it, you can write your resume, but interviewer in 5 minutes can judge that this is a copied thing, this is not something he has done, because he will ask a simple thing. Okay, hey, what are the challenges you faced? You will say that nothing. Then the interviewer will say, wow, you are a god, right? So it doesn't happen, right? Even when someone asks me, hey, you have done this project, have you faced challenges? I'll say I faced more challenges than the other thing, right? Because the challenge is something, which come in when you work on new things, right? So just summarizing that, start small, start with the small projects, pick up any projects, which you think is very relevant in terms of the data availability or in terms of development. You can develop, you can deploy things, you can develop things. There are a lot of open source things available in the market, and showcase that this is what you have done, right? And why the world will not accept it? World needs a people who develop, who innovate. If you show them that, everyone is happy to kind of accept you, whatsoever your background is. They will, of course, kind of judge you, kind of interview you, kind of try to understand. But my opinion here, personal opinion again, is pick up any small things, do the things, and kind of deliver. Definitely you will get what you wanted to achieve. Yeah.
Nurat Ayodele has an interesting question. He wants to switch from law to data science. And my friend Kenji, if you search in YouTube, he has a channel. He interviewed a lawyer who became a data scientist. So you should probably go watch that interview. There is an interview for a person who was a lawyer, become a data scientist. He has mentioned the whole journey in that video. So you'll learn some tips there.
Great. Okay.
I know we are about 1 hour, so depending on Arihant, like how much time we have, we can take a few more questions. Up to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's take 1-2 more questions. Yep. Do you wanted to pick something? I hear like, okay, this is something which is very interesting, which Santosh is asking. If you see, auto ML, etc., will replace ML engineers and data scientists. This is again a very interesting conversation, right? I love to kind of hear from a lot of people, right? So again, there is a fear of losing job, right? So if auto ML will happen, a lot of people may lose a job. I don't know, right? But just think about the whole process, right? Creativity cannot be automated, right? Problem solving ability cannot be automated. And as we were discussing in this video, right, in this conversation, this live conversation, that you should have a knack of solving problems. You say that, okay, hey, this is the problem I need to solve. What tools, other things you will figure out on the way. In the similar way, I say that develop critical thinking, problem solving ability, and all these things is needed in data scientists. So data scientist is not something, where I come in today and say that, okay, hey, this is the automated system. Let's take the data, just put it into the machine will give the output, right? There is a one saying in machine learning, right? Garbage in and garbage out, right? And machine cannot differentiate, let's say, in this way. So definitely complete part of the data science world is not something going to be automated in near future. That's what I can say for sure. Some part of this can be automated and should be automated. Data scientists should streamline their work, when they are spending 70% of their time in cleaning data, arranging data, bringing data back. Some of the automation is definitely needed, but it won't happen that tomorrow when you will wake up, all the vacancies will go away and all the machines are building the models. I am pretty sure that is not going to happen. So don't lose your heart. If you are preparing on the path, keep preparing it. I am pretty sure that you are definitely going to get a job. So don't lose your heart. Machines won't take it over in just right. Okay. Do you agree,
Yep.
Dhaval? What do you say on that?
100% agree. I'm like machine learning. Yeah, all this is a rising wave, so you need to ride it instead of fearing. And if you try to confront it, you will probably be drowned. But if you ride the wave properly, you will be good all the time. Holy Saint Music is asking how many commerce graduates you see in data science jobs. So I interviewed one person who became data analyst from commerce background. If you go to LinkedIn and search for Bachelor of Commerce space data analyst or data scientist, you will find tons of profiles with people who become data scientists or data analysts. I'm seeing data analyst is more common for commerce graduate because that will be a first good step. But I see many profiles. So go to LinkedIn, search for profile, try to connect with those people. It is definitely happening. It's not like it's impossible.
Correct. Right. Okay. Should we take one more question? What do you say?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Let me see. I see one question, which is again an interesting question. I see. Actually, I see two interesting questions. Let's say both of them. Maybe one of them you can answer, the one. So one, I see that I'm having 11 years of experience in electrical engineering. Okay, which is again a core kind of a background. Can I move to data science by learning data science topics? Okay, so I think this is a good question, to kind of summarize the whole conversation, because I think the whole stream is about the people who is coming from, let's say, core backgrounds or, this kind of backgrounds to get into data science. So see, I think by learning only the data science topics, you will get a job. The answer is no. You have to do more than that. What more you have to do it, you have to create a structured plan for you, where you have to definitely learn programming, statistics, different topics, then put a lot of efforts in solving different projects. There are so many different projects out there. Pick up some of the interesting projects. Start with the small projects. Maybe start with a domain where your hobby is. If your hobby is watching cricket or football, I will say pick up the football and cricket data set and do a lot of exploratory data analysis. This may be the first step, right? And then build your whole portfolio over there. Start participating, start publishing your work in summary, and then create your profile. Then if you are able to do so much of the effort, and trust me, this is not something will happen in 1 day, 2 day, or a week. This is a long time commitment to your goal. If you do that, then definitely you have an options. You will make it in the industry. Maybe not now, but after some time, but definitely you will make it. So I think all the questions which says that 10 years in mechanical, 10 years in electronics, or X years in X field, if I just generalize this, all these questions can be answered in this way. that only learning some topics may not make you get into the industry. You have to do much more than that. And that's where all these videos, all these blogs, will definitely help you plan your structured plan. Stay like, try to contact some mentors who can help, who are in this field, and try to chalk out a plan that way. That's what I just think that I should be answering this question, which will well summarize this whole discussion. Maybe Dhawal, you wanted to add something, in that.
Yeah, so you said it really right that uh, you can the world is becoming more flexible nowadays. Previously, okay, you want to do a computer science job, you need to have a degree, but now world is becoming more and more flexible. The age barrier, the experience barrier, everything is going away. What matters is how much you are ready to learn, how much passion you have, how much hard work you can do in a given field, and with of course proper discipline. And the resources are endless. Internet is full of knowledge, full of mentors. So open source project, open source contribution is one thing which I always talk about. So if you follow the right discipline, anyone can build a career in data science, and not only data science, like in computer programming as well. It's not that hard to build a career. All you need to do is have a very positive mindset and stop listening to the people who are giving you negative advice that no, you cannot do it. Many times it's a social pressure or some bias that we have in our brain, due to which we are not able to do the things which we really want to do. So
Correct.
that's the general advice I have for people. I know so many questions have piled up, but we have limitation in time,
Correct.
so we have to end the stream here. But maybe we can schedule one more stream in the future where we can answer your questions. And if you want to get your question answered, I think the important thing is we go in a order usually. So make sure you join on the time and start posting your question. I try to just go in order. So if your question is not answered, I'm really sorry. uh, we just can do this much. But yeah, in the future we will be scheduling more live streams. And Arihant's LinkedIn profile is in video description. If people, Arihant, you're fine, right? Putting
Yeah,
your LinkedIn profile. So if people want to connect with him, ask questions or anything, guidance, please feel free. I also have my LinkedIn profile. So connect. And if you have any further question, maybe post in a video comment as well. And we'll see, based on the time, we can answer that. All right. So thank
sure.
you very much, Arihant, for
Yeah.
your time, especially on Friday night. I know it's probably a time for watching movies, but you were so kind and helpful. So I want to thank you from all the people who attended this session.
Yeah. Thank you, Dhaval, for inviting me. It was really a great conversation over there. I hope it helped. And as Dhaval mentioned, that there is a limitation of time. That's why we are not able to answer. So sorry from my side too if you are not able to take your questions. But yeah, let's stay together and see if we can come up again and do something. Thank you once again, guys. Happy weekend and take care. Yeah.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Yes.